If you haven't seen the tutorials for the sheared bodice and the sleeves, I'm going to have the links in the description box below so you can go ahead and check that out. Now that this is done, let's work on the bottom of the dress. I decided to add some pockets on this dress because who doesn't love pockets on their dresses or skirts? So I'm just going to trace a basic pocket pattern right here. To trace it with a marker so you can actually see what I am doing here, but basically you just wanna make a pocket pattern that will fit your hand in, and I will add about 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut it out. So label the pocket, it says cut 4 because I will need 4 pieces. I folded the fabric twice, and then I am just going to place my pattern right on top of it, and I'm just gonna cut all the pieces all at once. Of course, you can reuse these pockets in any sewing projects. If you are going to make a pair of shorts or pants that has pockets, you can totally make this pattern just like I showed you here. Now you will have to figure out the skirt length. So you are going to measure from your waistline down. So it's totally up to you how long you want the dress to be. I decided on 25 inches. Then I will divide it into thirds, and that gives me about 8 inches, and I will add 1/2 inch seam allowance on top and the bottom, so that will make it 9 inches in total. Width of the first tier should match the bodice, which is 26 inches, and that is times 2. So you will need 2 panels that measure 9 by 26 inches. You will need 26 inches, the second one is 36, and the third one is 46, and you will need 2 panels per tier. Obviously, if you want more gathers, you are just going to increase the width of the fabrics. I will overlock all the raw edges. If you don't have an overlocker or a serger, you can simply use a zigzag stitch. First thing is make sure that the prints are not upside down, alright? This is the first tier. So now we are going to attach, so these are the pockets, and we are going to attach it on the first tier. Here I'm going to measure down 1 centimeter. The same on the other end of the panel. And then I will put 1 pocket on this end right here, and be sure that the right sides of the fabric are facing. I will do the same thing on the other end of the panel. Make sure that the right sides of the fabrics are facing and the straight seams are matching as well. And then I am going to sew it right here about 1/4 inch from the edge. Then I am going to understitch the pocket so it lays flatter on the seam. Right here, go around. And there. Same thing. The first tier is done. Let's set that aside and let's work on the second tier. Simply going to match the right sides of the fabrics and then sew the side seams. We'll do the same thing on the last tier. I'm going to match the right sides of the fabrics, and I'm also checking and making sure that the prints are not upside down. Now it's time to base stitch along the top of the panels so I can gather it. I will sew 2 rows of gather stitch. That way the gathers are much more stable. By the way, if you are wondering what type of fabric I am using, it is 100% rayon that I purchased from Hobby Lobby like 2 months ago. Now I am going to gather the second panel so it will match the width of the first panel or the first tier. Honestly, the gathering part was like the longest part of this sewing project, but it's totally worth it. Gathers add an extra detail to any sewing project. Now I am going to gather the last tier. I also want to make sure that I distribute the gathers evenly because you want it to look balanced. Now that all the panels are the same width, it's time to join them together. So first I am going to sew the second tier on the first tier. Place it inside the first panel and I'm going to match the right sides of the fabrics. I also like to match the side seam first. So I'm going to pin that to secure. Much easier if you are going to quarter the panels, so it's much easier to match up. Sure that you're only sewing 2 layers of fabrics, so constantly check the fabrics so they don't bunch up. You will repeat the same steps on the last tier. I am just going to match the right sides of the fabrics together and then pin it all the way around and then sew it all the way around, just like I did on the second panel. Here I am showing you some option. If you don't want to make a dress, you can totally make a skirt. Just add an elastic right here. You can do an exposed elastic waistline or waistband. If you added some extra few inches up here, you can actually make a casing or channel for the elastic. But I didn't plan on making a skirt. I am making a dress, so I am going to continue on the project. That is something that you can do because totally is going to be a cute midi skirt as well. It's time to attach the bodice on the bottom of the dress, so I am going to gather the waistline right here to match the width of the bodice. That the waistline are approximately the same width, I am going to join it. So I am going to place the skirt inside the bodice, and I'm going to match the side seams. Right sides of the fabrics should be facing each other. As before, if you quarter the waistline, it will be so much easier. First, find the side seams of the skirts and the bodice, and then the center, and then pin it all the way around. I'm just using these clips that I got from Walmart long time ago. I don't even know the brand. Then I am going to sew it all the way around. By the way, I am shearing it. I am using an elastic thread in the bobbin, so it will allow the waistline to stretch when I put it on. You guys, if you decided to recreate this sewing project, be sure to tag me on my Instagram. It is Aldo Official, and you can also follow me on Facebook. It's the same handle, Aldo Official. I post more pictures there, so if you like to join my other social account, check the links in the description box below. Oh my gosh, this dress looks exactly like my dress inspiration, which is from the brand Love Shack Fancy. I absolutely love this dress. Now all I have to do is finish the hemline and then give it a good press, and the dress is done.